So when we start to think about mentoring and professional goals and personal goals and all these sorts of things, it can get kind of confusing, right? Like, what am I supposed to do first? Where do I start? How do I organize myself? And so that's one of the things that we've recognized at the Forge Leader using the Trail Markers process is that, we step people through this journey of purpose through strategy and then obviously people communication process. And so the first two, the reason I focused on that and sort of emphasized those a bit is because this is where this is really important, because in our purpose space, we're thinking about why we're doing what we do, but we're also thinking about what are the guardrails and what are the ways that I show up. We call them the guardrails, are your core values or your value systems. And the way we show up are things like your operating principles, the way you're going to do business and how you're going to be remembered. And so these sorts of things, when we think about how we do business through these things, but rarely do we think about what's that alignment between the two. Now, if you're running your own business, or if you're a leader in a very small business, then that has a clear set of values and so forth, then you're there because those values matter to you. They may not be your core values, but they matter to you. I have some slightly different core values inside the Forge Leader that I do in my personal life, but they're very much aligned. And so there's a great importance in this. There needs to be a congruency, because at the end of the day, living congruent to our core values and operating from that space, both personally and professionally, is core to that sense of security and that sense of well-being and that sense of forward motion. It's absolutely critical to that. And so it's why we say to people, okay, if your values are diametrically opposed to the business that you're in, you shouldn't be in that business. If you're an owner and you've set up core values that are diametrically opposed to your core values, I can tell you now, your business will not work. It just won't. And so you might as well either sell it and get out while you can, or change, okay? Because you don't need to become a different person to run your business, particularly if you run and own that business. Now, as a leader, this is a little bit different. So I'm talking to leaders now. You don't necessarily own the business. Maybe you're a leader in a piece of the business. At the end of the day, and by that, I mean, you're probably on a salary, maybe on a profit share or something like that. Maybe you have a small ownership. But at the end of the day, you've signed up to that company because you believe in what they believe in. And so yes, when you're at work, their core values, the company's core values, become essential to you. And you'd want to see some alignment between who you are as a person and what the company core values are to be able to be successful in leadership, because that congruence is still going to be important, but you don't have to exactly line up. And so that's where I'd say, that this whole idea of having a strong understanding of your value set, and we do have some tools to help people discover core values, both personally and professionally, in business. And so, if you want that, we can make that available to you, but you certainly get access to that inside the Mentoring Hub. These things are really important to know. And often what we find when people start to look at these two sets, what am I doing personally, what am I doing professionally? And if we start to see some massive misalignment, we start to ask questions. Okay, what are you doing there? Does this matter? Are you able to still operate professionally there? All that sort of thing. If you own the business, as we said before, and it's like that, then honestly, we've got a problem. Because, there should be some kind of alignment, as I said, with my own core values. Yes, I have a set of core values for me personally, but they definitely play through my professional core values, which make a little more sense in the kind of the leadership context and in the idea of building mentoring communities and the Trail Markers and so forth. So it's why in the Trail Markers we start with purpose. Why are we doing what we're doing? What are the boundaries in terms of how we're going to operate? What are maybe some of the ways we're going to show up, before we then dive into strategy? Because at the end of the day, it's really hard to develop a great and effective strategy that you can truly win at if you don't have those things in place first. So this is personal as well as professional.